So today we're going to do a little review on this little 4-liter 6-can refrigerator sold by Walmart. I think it was about $29.99. What it is, I'm going to give this a shot. I already checked it out in the house. It's kind of made fragile, but what I'm going to do is I've got my little runaway here, and what I'm going to judge this is I'm going to use this for like lunch meats and cold stuff that you have to have, and it has a 12-volt setup, and it also has a 110 setup. So for this type camper, I'm going to have most of my stuff's going to be in a cooler, but in some things I'm going to have, like your foods, I'm going to actually put in here. They don't recommend that you put foods in this particular type refrigerator because they say it's not that reliable, but I just want to try it out. And like I say, well, we're going to hook it up in here and use it through the summer, and we're going to let you know at the end of the summer what we thought about it. But let me show you what it looks like. So when you get it out, like I say, just to show you how big it is, this is my hand. Don't have a huge hand, but it's not very big. And the big gripe about this thing, like I said, it's kind of cheesily made. It's got a little handle on the top here. I think it's one of those deals, if you're real careful about it, I don't think you'll break it. But I want to store mine in this box so it don't bang around. And it has this little bitty thing it saves. A lot of people say this little latch breaks, and I think the way it breaks is that people actually turn it the wrong direction. So you got to be careful what you're doing counterclockwise to open it up. And like I say, you open it up here, and I've got the cords inside. Like I say, a cord for 110, and then your cord here for your battery. It's a 12-volt, and I will show you some information here on how many amps that pulls. I'll put that up. Like I say, I'll display that somewhere up in here, and that way you'll have that information. And but I don't think it's going to use a lot of battery power. So like I say, if I was going on a trip, I'd secure this somehow, put maybe I don't know, bacon, eggs and stuff in here. It's not going to hold a lot. Like I say, here's my fist. Not very big, but I'll give you the review at the end of this about how well it held up over the last 6 months. You'll see here on the back, it basically has the DC 12-volt here, AC hookup here, then you have off and an on. Like I say, cold, and then it has a little green light here when it's on. And what this thing does, is supposed to keep the temperature in the cooler 20 to 25 degrees cooler than whatever the outside temperature. So if it's extremely hot, this is not going to get down to a desirable temperature. But if you know you're in the 70s or 65s, it should do well. So looking at their power draw here, if you're actually in the 120 volt mode, it says it'll draw 0.7 amps at 48 watts. And if you're in the actual DC 12 volt, it looks like 3.3 amps at 40 watts. So this is going to be a little experiment, taking it through our trip, and we're going to test this refrigerator out. And basically we're going to put some cream in there for my coffee. Got 2 sodas, and I have a little pre-cooked Jimmy Dean sausage. We're going to put that in there and see how well that holds. And that's what I'm kind of using this for, is I want to use it for like lunch meats or any kind of cool stuff, but I don't really want cooler stuff in there. Like I say, I have 2 drinks in there just to kind of see how cold they get. So we're going to open it up. It's been on all night, so it's nice and cool. So there it is, all tucked in. We're going to see how well that keeps. And we're going to do some more Velcros on here to keep this from shifting around while it's driving in the cooler. So, like I told you, I wanted to test out this refrigerator. So, driving down here, we just run it off battery. It did seem like it consumed a lot of my battery. I'm not sure my battery was fully charged, but it took it down to 77%, and it was at 50 amp hours, and now it's down to 38. So I'm not sure if that was the refrigerator, or maybe I had something else going on, but I'm going to take this out now and see how cool it is. And one thing I did notice, if you listen, you can hear the noise. It does make a little bit of a noise. Let's take the safety lock off of here and open it up and see what we got. It's cold. I think the verdict on this is going to be that I got this to put like a few things like lunch meat or something, but I'm not really sure it gets cold enough for that. And I think this was $29, and then I'll show you some other ones here that actually have you actually put them in through the top instead of having the front door. You have a top thing, and they're actually $25. And I think these are more for like if you had a desk at work, you just want to keep a few cold drinks. But I think for what I need here, it's just not big enough. And this particular, I think Frigidaire actually makes a little bit bigger one, probably about this much taller, maybe this much wider. And I think it's $49. That might be the better fit. I'm not sure if this is, obviously for just little things like I'm doing, I'm only going one night at a time. I think most people would want to have something bigger. So that's going to be my recommendation, is to get something bigger. This thing here is probably not going to cut it. So that's about all I have for this particular review. Again, if you want something for your little office at work or something, just keep a few drinks, it might work out pretty good. But I think for camping purposes, it's probably just a little too small. So that's about all I have for this video, and we'll talk to you again on another one.